Welcome back, Rednecks on Comics. Daniel.
I'm Mark.
Indy. There you go, the left one. Professor.
Today we're starting off with what was his name? Jake Stone. Jake Stone. Mark and Andy actually read this one, so we'll let them do the review.
Go ahead there, Andy. Crank it out.
Pretty much this is the first comic that we actually have from one of our vendors that has come to our show. Our convention we have yearly here.
Dragon's Mountain Comic Con.
Dragon's Mountain Comic Con. This is from Mr. Lowe, one of his friends, and his daughter, Chelsea Lowe. She does a lot of the coloring in this, and this is, I think they only had 2 covers for this. I chose this one over the other one, which had a very beautiful crow drawn on it, but I really liked how the motorcycle stuck out on the cover of this one, the kind of light reflecting off of it. So
yeah, this was actually, if you're into the old horror comics, like the old EC stuff and things like that, this is comparable to that. It's not a modern type book. It reads pretty smooth, but it's a quick read, even though it's a full length comic book. What?
We got Tony said hi, and then Cody, I'm assuming Miss Cody, said we all looked excited.
Oh yeah, thrilled. It's only about 100 degrees in here.
And we have a 101. We'll let Terry, the professor, pronounce that name on the bottom.
hello, y'all.
Well, the name.
Oh,
I can read the hell, y'all. Hello, y'all.
Saki Senju.
So yeah,
Senju.
howdy, y'all.
Saki Senju.
That's you're viewing us. Oh, now she's just really Masaki. Okay, there she pronounced that for us. Masaki Senju.
Yeah, I got it right the second time.
Yeah, thank you.
If you read Japanese comics and stuff, you know how to pronounce those names.
Now you could have started off with no. She could have started off with that. She said, "I'm also known by Izzy." So I mean, hey Izzy.
Anyway, I thought it was a decent read. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I mean, it's one of those books that it did kind of throw me back to my younger days when I was reading the old EC horror books and stuff like that, and it was somewhat enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, it, like how I said earlier today, waiting for Tales from the Crypt to come on HBO. When I was a lot younger, there was a show called Twin Peaks that, from what little I remember of, this kind of has that same vibe to it. And the story, it did at least have kind of an open ending. I would kind of like to see if they do decide to do more of this, which even talking to both of them, they do have ideas. Just seeing exactly where they go with it in the future.
I like the fact that it did kick back to the early 1940s. There's a reference in there to what appears to be one of the banished Nazi scientists.
Yes.
And y'all just have to pick it up and read it for yourself. I believe that if you contact Chelsea Lowe Illustrations on Facebook, that these may still be available.
Now Chelsea's a really good artist.
Yeah.
I picked up some of her stuff. Yeah. Does her art shine through? I mean, does it do it justice in there?
Because see, she's actually isn't the artist in this one. It's Mr. Lowe's friend Russell Bennett.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of did a more, I would say, simplistic, surrealistic take on it.
Yeah.
But she did the coloring and everything for it, which kind of helped
bring it out.
Yeah. It gives it its own kind of identity.
Cody said, "Nobody cares what you say, Captain Porcupine." So,
nobody cares what he says because he's not here.
That's true. Get to work. Yeah, we're missing David and Cody and Blaze.
Black Hammer, Blaze.
Yeah, Black Hammer.
My son Alex has picked up tech for us again tonight, so we appreciate that.
Yeah,
especially being just 8 days out of surgery. He's a trooper sitting there in this heat right now, trying to get us through this.
Yeah, we appreciate him. He's one that got us where we can go live now, so he's up to a lot. Tony said we're slackers. Well, we know that. But, well, you want to start on the next one?
Well, let him finish his thought on this book here.
Damn, the heat's got to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. The cover art is beautiful.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for anything any better on the cover. That is frameable art.
Yes.
And I agree with you that the inside, and that's what reminded me more of the old EC horror books, was the interior art. I think that of course, I don't do real well with colors, and we all know that. I can't see the full spectrum like you all do, but it appeared that the coloration on the inside gave it a good depth.
Yes, it did. They utilized a lot of the darker shades of purple and the lighter shades of purple as a really good contrast, not even just in the regular pictures, but for the back of the pages as well, so it helped. If it was darker, the brighter images popped out in the panels a little bit more, made it a little more vibrant to
Are they
catch
from
eyes.
around here? These top part, are they local artists?
Yeah, they are local.
Well, I noticed that Money Flats Hotel stuff.
Yeah.
That's just kind of neat. Seeing that.
Well, you remember Chelsea at the convention. She's been at both conventions.
Oh, okay.
Set up there at the very end of the first row.
Oh, all right.
She's done a lot of. She started picking up some artwork for Pixar. And places like that.
Toy Story.
Tony, we're slackers too, so don't let them fool you. He said, not us, the absent ones. So, the slackers.
But overall, I like the book. It's a frameable book. I mean, it's one of those that you want to actually buy a comic frame and put it on the wall. My copy of it is autographed.
Yeah.
And I will probably frame my copy of it and put it up. There are very few independent books that I really enjoy. That's one that kind of set in there, and I would like to see more of it.
Yeah, because, like I said, at the end, it just kind of leaves it open for other stores.
No, I'd say that's something if somebody wanted to carry, we could hear their story.
It's a possibility, yeah.
I don't see why we wouldn't be able to pick it up here for the store. Cause
So if y'all are interested in it, want to give it a try, just let us know, and we'll see if we can get it for you and get it to you.
Okay. On to our main review for the night. That was our independent review, of course. Wolverine Vs Blade, #1. Go ahead, Daniel. Fire off on that.
Well, it's no secret that Wolverine hasn't been one of my favorite characters, if you've been watching the show anyways, but that one would turn me around if I had to read any more of that, draw it, because that character would draw me in. I believe he was in the X-Force, wasn't the X-Force that he was in?
Or at least the X-Force costume.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned, X-Force in it, but either way, still. But you've got two more or less immortals, going at it.
Yeah. Half-blood vampire and
Whatever Wolverine is.
yeah.
Well, what I liked about it is, it started you off and it gave just a four-line paragraph telling you about each character, and then all the way through it, it showed their perspective of what was going on all the way through it. It wasn't just focusing on one character. They was doing it together all the way through it. So. And the artwork is just as good for me on the inside as it is the outside.
The cover art and the interior art are identically the same. You don't get that in most books anymore, but it's beautiful inside and out.
I mean, that's the thing is, the art's good. You can tell it's digital, but this is good, detailed digital art.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of digital art. Yeah, it might look good, but you can still tell it's not exactly hand-drawn. Everything was just kind of splashed on there for some colors,
Well,
effects. But
for me, what I've experienced in digital art, the motions of the people seem blocky at times. This one, it seemed like it flowed when even in the action scenes, everything flowed right.
Oh yeah, like with the marshmallow skit there, just the grin on it and everything.
Yeah. Well, even when he was pushing it down, you could see the creases in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really well done.
Story was good too.
Yeah.
Very good story.
You didn't have to have the story to pull the art along, or the art to pull the story along. They were both equal in this, in my mind.
Well, I'd say 8 on the story and 8 on the art. Maybe 8.5.
I would
And the only reason I
rate
say
it
8.5 is because it is digital. It's not hand drawn. You know, I always am a fan of the hand drawn stuff. If it's done right. You know?
Well, I'd probably go an 8 or an 8.5 on the art, but I would go almost as high as a 9 on the storyline. Yeah. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I think mine would be about 8 on the art, probably 9 on the story. The only thing I didn't like about it, there's no more issues. It's just a one shot.
Yeah.
Maybe they're testing the waters, and maybe there'll be some more or something.
Yeah, they made an awesome team.
Yeah.
They played off each other very well.
Yeah.
They really did. I never thought about Wolverine Blade. If you like vampires, you'll like it. If you like a little gore, you'll like it.
Now it does have a parental advisory.
It does.
And it's straight on the thing. More
Content.
for the graphic side of it.
Yeah, I would think so. There was no profanity that I read.
No.
It was just, your typical comic book squiggly lines that you kind of throw your own word
Yeah, you put your
in
own
there.
word in there. And if you got a dirty mind, it's going to be say something dirty. So,
Yeah.
if you got a pretty decent mind, you're going to come up with something decent.
And, of course, everything I read with the squiggly lines was something dirty. So,
Well, don't feel bad. I was right there with you.
what do you think, John?
I actually really did enjoy the story and everything. As far as the art, I would say 9, just because Marvel has been playing a little bit more with their digital stuff. The Savage Avengers series, that has good artwork, but it's digital art just because all the characters kind of have that block shape to them. But this, it's a lot more toned to it. Unless you really know what you're looking at, you can't tell this is digital art. So art-wise, I give this a 9. Story-wise, 8.5.
Toady wants to know if Blade is heading up a team in September. I haven't heard anything.
I think there is in the previews, but I don't remember the name.
I don't remember it either, but I believe that he is correct. I think that it'll try to go head to head with Gotham City Monsters, but I don't remember the name of the book either.
I've seen something in the new preview.
Unfortunately, it's not Midnight Suns.
Are they going to pull him out of the Savage Avengers? Or they're just going to keep him in there too?
He's not in the Savage Avengers, is he?
He's supposed to be. I don't know if he's in it yet, but he's supposed to be coming to it.
I don't know that.
Or it might have been flipping. Well, y'all talk about that. I've seen him in, but I thought it was Savage Avengers.
He was in the. He's in the Avengers. He's the regular Avengers.
Well, that might be one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's in the Avengers.
Yeah, he's in the Avengers.
See, I don't remember seeing him. I got 3 issues.
But they've watched this long enough. The ones know I'm kind of slow, so.
Kind of.
Yeah, Tony says that he's in the current Avengers. Thank you, Tony. I just said I was slow.
Slow reading.
But
I enjoyed the book.
Oh, yeah,
Overall, good read, good art. The story flowed good. I mean, even the Doctor Strange scenes in there, and I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, were good.
yeah, he even was in on some comedy, and that's another thing. It had its share of comedy. It wasn't overbearing comedy. It was just a shot here and there, jab.
It was like guys being together in the same room.
Yeah.
Kind of like, us picking on Jonathan or Cody or David,
Yeah, for those out there that think we're mean to Jonathan, we do it out of love. If we didn't like him, we wouldn't even say nothing. He wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
I think I'd be on the phone. My friend, that might be my mom.
Well, it surprised me a bit.
No, you're lucky it's not her.
Oh, yeah, put us on the phone. That'll be interesting in the episode. Say it. But anyways,
She'll have some interesting words for you.
I know where a hang up button is, and it wouldn't be the first person I ever hang up on.
How'd you feel about it overall, Terry? If it went into a full-blown series, or if they did more one shots with different characters using the same type of art and the same story premises and stuff like that, would you buy more of those?
Depending on what they were, yeah. I think that, like that's would be a good miniseries. I think.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing I didn't like about it, there wasn't another issue. I was like, it'd be nice to be like a 4-issue run, maybe this or something.
Well, see, I'd like to see them do something like they do the Super Sons. You know,
Yeah.
Like a 12-issue year.
yeah, 6-issue
Yeah.
run, then a 12-issue, whatever. You know, maxi series, mini series.
It's just my
Just you know, then another 6 months down the road, do something else with them
Yeah.
because they do. You know,
I mean, Marvel has.
they
done
put me
that.
in the mind of an older version of the Super Sons, how the way they interact with each other.
I mean,
Maybe
Marvel's
test
done that
the
with Daredevil before his most recent run. They had I think it was 5 issues, Man Without Fear tie-in leading up to his most recent run. Last year they had a 5-issue run of Killmonger, which was a phenomenal read. I'm very glad I picked that up. So Marvel's doing a little bit more of that, just a few issues run, I guess. Like you're saying, like testing the water, see how things work. But I would pay to see that. Maybe bring in some other characters we don't get to see often.
Yeah, I'd like to see him.
Damien Hellstorm.
Well, I'd like to see him doing Moon Knight in the same style here, and maybe do a 6-issue run, team him up with somebody that you wouldn't normally see him.
Cyclops.
No,
I killed that.
Moon Knight and Thor.
it could work. They were both on the Avengers.
Yeah, but that just I don't know.
Might be more work.
You want somebody out there just as much as he is.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Wow. Moon Knight and Frank. I mean, I know they've teamed up before, but they've never had their own no run.
Yeah. Or maybe a Moon Knight Captain America.
That would be interesting.
Moon Knight needs a little love right now in the comics. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah, need somebody to ride him like he should be rode.
Yeah. Because he's real badass if they do it right.
one of my favorite Marvel characters is Moon Knight. And, you know, somebody please, if anybody from Marvel is watching this, somebody please take Moon Knight and give him a little bit of love.
Leave his crazy side there because that's who makes Moon Knight. But, you know, they just,
Don't make that the entirety of the book.
no. And that's what they was doing.
Yeah.
There at the end where I just quit reading.
Well, the art, too, I didn't like the way they were drawing it.
Well, when you know, you got me introduced into it, and I was loving it. And all of a sudden, this big old blob thing happened. Sucked him up in it. It just got stupid.
Yeah, when they went back to the legacy numbering, we had some good reads there of him versus Raw and
Yeah. Well, him showing up at his girlfriend's house and realizing, you know, he's got a baby and he don't even know how he got it. And one of his personalities got her pregnant. You know, I mean, stuff like that is freaking awesome.
I mean, it was a good read all the way through. Good book, I thought.
Yeah.
It got a little weird, but you know, Moon Knight was introduced in a horror book anyway,
Yeah.
and I think
Werewolf by Night, wasn't it?
I think maybe they need to sort of slide back to those roots. Go back to him fighting the supernatural, other supernatural characters.
Well, that would be a good tie-in with that because this is kind of another horror novel. Now I think about it, we kind of read 2 horror stories this week.
Yeah.
Comics.
Moon Knight could go with either one of these characters.
Yeah. Easily.
He'd fit right in there.
Well, he'd be just a good add-on to that. You know,
Maybe add in Man Thing with Moon Knight's craziness. Because Man Thing's another one you really don't see much of. I think the last thing we seen anything of that character was in Weapon H.
Yeah.
well, he's in the. Never mind. I'm about to show my rear end on that.
I know what you were getting ready to say too.
Never mind. We'll be getting to that here in a minute, Tony. He's wanting to know what we think about John Carpenter doing Joker.
Well, since we're on the subject, let's go ahead and shut up.
Right there is why he don't get no slack from us. He's done gone.
One of the most prolific horror directors of all time.
I think that taking a character that is probably has the potential to be one of the scariest characters in the world and putting him under the control of one of the best horror writers that has been out there should make for an interesting thing.
Yeah, I agree. 100. I believe it's going to be a whole lot better than the Joker movie.
Yeah,
that's getting ready to come out. I wouldn't mind seeing an adaptation of it to be put in the movie form. John Carpenter producing. Because, like I say, you got the mastermind behind one of the
Halloween.
Halloween, some of the best horror movies out there. In control of what you said was one of the scariest people that could be. I'm excited. And I hope they stick to this. Everything about Joker from the time he started as being Joker till now has been a horror film, if done right.
Yeah.
He has done some very horrific things.
His original origin, that's a horror movie in itself. That led up to that and everything. So yeah, I believe they got the right guy to write it.
That would be one we should review in the future.
Yeah.
And Jared Leto playing this another horrific thing under his mantle too.
If I seem a little bit distracted tonight, it's because all of my kids are running around in the background doing whatever, waving at me as they're going out the doors and everything else. So they're kind of distracting me just a touch. So just bear with me for a minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony said it'd have to be the Black Label. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Black Label.
Yeah, it's
because it's going to be one of their main spin-offs of the villains, ain't it?
Yeah, it's Year of the Villain.
Yeah.
It's
Black Label has really been pushing a lot of information out on series coming out.
if they will put them out on time.
Yeah.
If I have a complaint about DC, well, let's look at Doomsday Clock. How long has that been going? Terry, how long have you been waiting to see issue 12 of
There's
Doomsday
two more
Clock?
issues, and it's already been out for a year. And they got when they started, it was monthly, and then they went to bi-monthly.
Only had one kid.
So now I quit reading. I'm just going to wait till I get them all and binge read it because I'm done forgot what happened about it. I know it's a good book, but I'm just going to have to sit down and read them all.
I've done the same thing. I have the first 5 issues at home, and I just said forget, put it in my log box when it all comes out. I'll pick it all up and read it. That's what I did with the Injustice versus Masters of the Universe. I sat there and waited for all of it to come out, sat down and read it all at one time.
At least that came out every month. So.
Yeah.
Well, now, skipped a month there at the end, didn't it?
No, we just didn't get the last issue.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what was it? Shortage?
It wasn't shipped to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Had to be,
Because I had to sit down and read it all when I finally got that last issue.
you had to get it elsewhere for all of us that wanted it. Like
She's actually the boss. I just work for her.
hand her the money and work for her.
Yeah. I go to work every day, and I come here and work on Saturdays and everything else. And any money that is brought in, she gets. So, but
That's the reason you're still married and the rest of us single. You smart. You learn. We some dumb ones up in here. Yeah, I'm talking to you too. I put myself in there.
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that it, because John Carpenter's Vampires, the book, the novel.
Yeah.
So
I never read the novel.
You figuring any of that out? Comments? Last two? All right. I don't know who y'all are, but
You
hey,
sound like a water boy.
I'd say, "Yum money, yum him right now, and want to give them now."
But no, the DC Black Label, what they have set out, it's going to.
There must be some Albert's people.
It should be pretty good coming out because you got this Joker.
read that last one
coming
that
out
just
with
popped
it.
up.
You have another run of
Matthew, I don't know why your wife left you. Well, I might. Depends on her name. You know. We lost that fan. But anyway, well, you asked me to read it. What do you think was going to happen? I mean, really?
I didn't tell you had to comment on it, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. Too bad we're live. I can't edit that now.
I think that new has two title in his head.
He's probably the only one in here that doesn't have sweat running into his eyes right now at this moment.
Now, what's wrong is normal people has a filter between here and here. Mine wasn't put in. I was like, well, you don't need it. You know? We need a butthole once in a while. Tony Hodge is laughing. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate your support, brother. Well, we want to do cover, or we want to go on to the next.
Talk about this whole Area 51 thing
Okay.
first. What in the hell is the matter with you people?
Yeah, we want all you viewers out there. We want your feedback on this one.
How many people are watching
And,
this episode?
If you actually are one of the, I guess it's over 400,000 now. If you're one of the people that signed that you're going to raid Area 51, good luck.
Nice knowing you.
Let us know how that turns out.
Well, better yet, I'll watch it in the news, and because
Watch the footage of the drone strike.
because those of you all that are not in prison after you get finished doing that will be dead. So
It would be the other way around. Those that ain't dead will end up in prison. But it takes a special kind of stupid to even, well, it's like, I love President Trump. You know, his tweet just summed it all up. He said, first of all, if you're going to, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you're going to raid Area 51, do not announce that you're going to raid Area 51. Don't give a date and don't give a time. Said, and if you're one of these people that think we can't stop that many people, said, you don't know what kind of ET shit we've got. You stupid nerds. Now, I'm a nerd,
and I am too.
and I'll admit it, you know, but I guess there's like us rednecks. There's some stupid rednecks, and there's just us genuine rednecks. There's some stupid nerds, and there's just general nerds. I don't fall under the category of a stupid nerd because I'm not.
Nerd, but I'm not doing it.
Well, you ain't that stupid.
I'll take a souvenir.
But yeah, give us your input on the whole raid in Area 51. Go ahead and throw it out there. And if you're one of those ones doing it, let us know. Send us a pic. I want us to be able to identify the body.
We would like to chat with you to kind of.
Please do a live feed.
Put a GoPro. What was that? Shiny bam!
Does anybody hear something else whistling?
Well, you know,
Everybody's got to have goals, I guess.
yeah, if the stupidity don't get, I want to throw that out first and foremost because that's got to be the top of the endangered list there. The landmines, because you know it's covered up.
Yeah.
The snipers.
Yeah.
The drones. The helicopters. That's what would get me worried.
Yeah.
You know, you got the president of the United States saying, you don't know what kind of ET shit we've got. You know, I'll be like, hold up, back up. Ain't happening.
The death ray might actually exist.
Tony said he would go, but he would only want to sit and watch. That'd be the only. Bring the marshmallows.
Yeah, bring the
Remember,
marshmallows.
short content for Halloween.
Right, so Tony's going to be the guy in like the lawn chair with like the binoculars.
He's
and,
gonna-
like, a bag of pop.
No, he's going to have a lawn chair, the kiddie pool in front, and he's going to be in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, keep all the blood off of it. There'll be spattering everywhere.
I mean, you know, there's some.
Keep the stupidity off of it.
Listen, we have in this country the best trained military in the world, bar none. And the best of the best are guarding places like this. don't.
Yeah, it's
Just
it ain't like they just jumped out here and picking some fellers off the street and saying, "Hey guys, you want a job? Here's your shotgun, slingshot. Have at it." No. And I'm not saying that that could be just a government scam, just to keep everybody. I don't know. There could be an alien there. I don't know. But is it worth dying over? No.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, there probably isn't
Because-
any alien stuff there. But guess what? It's still military facility.
Yeah.
They're still going to defend it.
I want you there.
If you die in the search for truth, who are you going to tell about it?
Yeah.
Hitler. Because they'll probably end up right there beside him. You was right all along. Now we both got hot asses.
What else was it we want to talk about now that we've covered that?
There's something else, but I can't remember.
Oh, there was a question for Terry. Let's talk about Superman for just a second. When was the phrase "Man of Steel" first used to describe Superman?
Action Comics 6. When they had a newspaper article that said Man of Steel returns. That's when I guess they hadn't seen him for a while. They did a newspaper article. And it said Man of Steel returns. Action Comics 6. Back in 1939. Interesting question. Very.
That was a long time ago.
Like at least
That's a good question because you always, a lot of people probably wonder where did
That's
that
about
come
the time
from.
they started there.
It's kind of funny. Area 51 started, and then we started getting reports of Superman, spaceship, and everything. Comic-wise.
That's what.
everything.
That's what. He was right.
Yeah.
The Action Comic.
Clark Kent is real.
They're wanting to
He's
find
there.
out Superman. That's the alien that they got under wraps.
Then they're all dead when they come. They just heat vision. They're gone.
That's the ET shit. That's what I was talking about. Well, talk about the heat vision. That was a surprise.
Yeah, and that.
Oh,
Yeah, going back to the Wolverine versus Blade. They're a vampire with heat vision.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That
Well,
was-
it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's a one shot, so it ain't like it's going to affect it from here. You got vampires and mutant combined.
I mean, you even see Dragoness show up for a very brief period.
No.
We must be the only
Couple
dumb
fans.
people that want to talk about Area 51 because the government watches us all and everything. They're staying quiet. We don't care.
But, the heat vision, where did it come from? Because, like Cyclops, I mean, it's like, what, cosmic rays or something like
Yeah,
that? Or the
it's-
sunlight?
Optic blast, they call it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what charges him? If he's underground too long, he loses his power, so it's got to be sunlight that charges him.
Yeah,
How would a vampire keep that going if it was worked the same way?
that's an interesting point because they can't come out during the day. Unless these.
Well, no, because the one that was burned up by the sun.
Yeah, he was.
So, yeah, we're throwing all kinds of spoilers out here.
You still ought to read it.
I mean,
Well,
we're
it came-
killed by the sun.
It
last
dropped
week.
Wednesday. Most people who
Yeah.
want to have it, but in case you were wondering about whether or not to pick it up, yeah, pick it up. It's a good book. If you're over the age of 15.
With it having a parental advisory on it, doesn't they have to be 18 without a parent?
It's just an advisory.
Things have changed since I used to buy the CDs with a little parental advisory on there.
I've always been asked adversary.
Of course you have.
Yeah. Go ahead. You want to talk about it? Go ahead, there. Why do you call it adversary? Because they're battling each other, dude. Okay.
Don't
Is that,
sound
it's
like
that.
that much like a hipster douche.
No, but you sure do look like it.
I have to have a haircut. Well, leave me alone.
Alex is even sitting back here agreeing. He's shaking his head yes.
Just because you got the same haircut don't mean nothing.
As everybody went silent.
Well, Tony says I was wondering about it. We have covered a lot of stuff, Tony. Are we talking about how big of a deuce that Jonathan is? Or we talk about the book again? Or what are we talking about here? What are you wondering about? And as I wait 15 seconds for him to actually hear it.
It's probably the Area 51 thing.
Yeah, probably. But if you have any shows, or if you have any shows for ideas, if you have any ideas for our shows, let us know.
Let's throw cover of the week up there real quick. Let's talk about this book for a second.
Well, I wasn't trying to end it. I was just trying to fill in the blanks. Like, we got quiet.
Yeah. Well, we're not quiet anymore because look at this cover.
That is actually
Event Leviathan #2.
So is the person behind him supposed to be Jason Todd?
Who does it look like?
That does look like Jason Todd, right? But I also know the main person from Event Leviathan also has the red scheme.
But
I
that's
just want to make sure first.
the other one. There is a difference in those. The other characters are different.
This book, I read the first one. Has anybody else read #1 of this? Have you? You hadn't even read it? This is the world's greatest detectives. We're talking about Batman, The Question, people like that getting together to try to solve the mystery of who Leviathan is.
What characters is it?
Detective Chimp.
I was getting ready to ask if you
Yeah, he's in it. Alex, run around to the other side right there and grab us a #1.
I know he's
Or
not
grab us a
a-
#2 regular cover.
I know he's
Sure,
not
you
a
read it.
detective, whether they use him like Mr. Terrific, because I know he's also somebody that's rather smart in the hero community and knows a lot of information.
Well, they all didn't show up in the first book. I mean, yeah, the
Down there on the white one. Over on this bottom shelf.
there you go.
Well, I wouldn't even bought that one if he hadn't said, "Look how pretty this cover is," and it has Jason Todd on it. You gonna see #1 too?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a cover I like right there.
While we're waiting, Tony said he knew about you. He was talking about the book. He was a douchebag.
Everybody knows I'm a douchebag, but I'm not a hipster.
Your mama don't. Your mama thinks you're an angel.
So
No,
Terry?
my mama knows where I am.
tell us who these characters are. Batman, Question, Lois Lane. Who else we got there?
Yeah, it looks like Manhunter Kate Spencer over here. Well, Plastic Man, of course. Well, Green Arrow, I see him in there. Is that not him in there in the middle?
Now, does Plastic Man actually belong in the greatest detectives? Is he that
Apparently
good?
he does.
I mean, is he that good?
Well, I would have went with the elongated man.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
true. Elongated Man would be the better one.
I mean,
I'm surprised with the Kate
Plastic Man,
Spencer
he's got that criminal side. I mean, he was.
He's got the criminal side, but it does kind of help him with digging into kind of like a little bit of the darker side and everything. Whereas Batman beats the crap out of people, he just kind of infiltrates, hears stuff, goes on with the information.
You're going to speak up a little bit. People can't hear you. Or maybe they just don't want to.
I said Daniel's an idiot.
I messed up right there. Well, she hates me anyway. Yo, mama. I am sorry about that one. It just, I had to say it. I told you, no filter. Whatever little one I had was trying his best to hold it back.
But I think Bendis is doing a pretty good job here. See, this is Leviathan on the front of cover #1.
That looked like
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing is, like I said, I just know it was the red scheme. I mean, it's not like they haven't changed what somebody looks like from one comic to the next. Because, I mean, they just recently did that with Red Hood.
Right. And, Year of the Villain, I believe this is going to tie right on in with all of that because they're trying to make it out to be a big surprise who Leviathan is. And I haven't read enough of the other stuff yet to form my own opinion on it. But it's
We haven't heard anything from Tim Drake. They've been saying they've been doing a new identity.
Tim Drake is in the Young Justice books, dude. He is in a different dimension right now.
Okay. I might read Young Justice, so I don't know.
So it
Well,
could
keep your mouth shut.
it could be Savior.
Idiot.
Oh yeah.
Now it could be, because if you're looking for somebody who could possibly outsmart Batman, Savior is Tim Drake from another timeline,
And
and
still make him right. We can't do that. Well, what happened to Azrael? Could it be?
He's
no, he's in
He's
space.
on Odyssey.
He's in space right now.
I'm not reading Odyssey, but I know Azrael's in space. Starfire.
Dum, 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 dum.
But
And here we thought this was going to be a civilized conversation today.
yeah, we were,
I'm still here. It can't be that civilized.
even if it were just me and you, it wouldn't be that civilized.
I don't know. Our first one we ever put out was just me and you. It
Yeah.
was, 17 minutes long, 11 minutes long,
11 minutes long.
and the most views.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just throwing that out.
So we've got a character that we don't really know anything about, but we know that they're tracking through all the masterminds, the evil masterminds in the DC universe, to figure out who it is.
What if it's not exactly somebody from that universe, though?
Well, Savior is from a different universe, so
Well, I mean, because that's the thing is you have JSA coming back, Legion of Superheroes coming back. They are bringing in some form of Wildstorm series back in because I think Grifter,
the Wildcats.
yeah, Wildcats, Grifter and everything, they had some weird, crazy super genius in their run. Maybe it's somebody that just kind of knows how the DC universe works.
What's the fun about that? Trying to figure out who it is.
Right.
Reading it, trying to figure out who this villain is.
And you're tracking through it with the best detectives in the DC universe. So it should be an interesting book. What I read of issue 1, it didn't really bring a whole lot of characters into it in issue 1, but it starts off pretty much with Batman rescuing Lois Lane. And I'm assuming that falls in right up behind the events of the Superman Leviathan book.
And going back to the cover, it led up to this. Not to say any of the other covers was bad this week, because every one of the Year of the Villain covers, to me, could have won it.
Well, I mean, even then we have that Detective Comics with Batman and the Spectre up there.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull a copy of that down.
That's a beautiful cover. That's the very first one I saw as soon as I walked in the shop today. That one just...
Tony, which one do you think's better, Event Leviathan or the
Comics
Detective
106.
Comics?
1007.
There's a few of the Year of the Villains I'm not really that fond of.
They haven't been this time. There's some that's better than the other ones.
Yeah.
The Cyborg, what they done on the Cyborg
The
is just,
Cyborg is awesome looking, yeah.
There's a lot more to go, so we got a lot more villain covers coming.
Brainiac.
well, apparently it's not just the villains.
Well, yeah, you see, Cyborg. He's up
Well, Cyborg ain't, Lois Lane,
Lois Lane.
Red Hood, he could pass us either way. Can he get a better look at him? Grab him and slide him up there a little bit.
Let me see the other one.
On that. He should be able to see that. Turn the just the one here. I keep that hand. Turn it. Yeah, there you go. That worked, Tony? Lord of mercy, Tom. I didn't say that far. You gotta remember, I'm on 15-second delay.
On your camera or mental?
Both.
Look at the man who's actually.
Yeah, let him tell you what he's seeing.
Okay, so which image is better? Which one?
I don't know. Both are pretty cool.
I can't say it's a
They're pretty awesome.
I can't blame him for that. I mean, those are two good covers.
All right, well then let's do the Lois Lane and Harley Quinn because I don't like the Lois
No.
Lane, but you don't like the Harley Quinn.
The Harley Quinn cover was not good.
At all.
Good. That's very easily cover of the week or the other one. Right?
Yeah.
I guess you think about it.
Well, me and Mark kind of just stepped up and said they're going to have to like that one or not.
Yeah.
I can go with that one too. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I can go with either one.
I thought the Red Hood, was good, but so Batman in with it, just made it better.
It's all perspective, I suppose.
Everybody's got different tastes.
Okay. What the hell? Read what you wrote, wrote. Let me know.
What about him, sweetheart?
All I got was Vanilla makes a terrible dolphin or something like that.
Oh, Dolphin makes a poor Vanna White.
Oh, okay.
Tony says Leviathan.
Yeah, we agree with you, Tony. Oh, so it's supposed to be Jonathan makes a poor man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. So,
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
you got the breast size with this.
Leave my boobs out of this.
Anybody read about anything interesting getting ready to happen that they want to talk about?
Well, that's especially in light after reading Frank last week, where he was talking to the police officers. There's a police station in St. Louis.
Police union.
Yeah. The union asked their officers to put the blue line, Frank Castle's skull, on their police cars, I'm assuming. And people on Twitter is just Twitter or whatever it's called. They're throwing a fit.
Of course, everybody's always going to throw a fit though over any little thing. You can't please everybody. That is one thing that is a guarantee.
Well, even that's been the story throughout human time, human race. Nobody's been pleased all the time. But here, within the last, starting about 10 years ago, people used to was grown up and,
and it's gotten a lot worse.
oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, well, let's go over here and do my own thing.
Okay.
Oh, you hurt my feelings.
all the time.
I'm suing you,
Art Germ's doing a Marvel Comics 1000 variant with Emma Frost.
Nice.
And that should be.
Is that a 1 in 200?
Well, 1 in 1,000.
They're doing a bunch of covers for that. I'm not sure what that book's about, but there's a bunch of covers. When we talked about variant covers, well, we didn't listen on that one. Probably have 1,000 variants.
Well, we're missing Albert today.
Yeah.
Want to send a prayers to Albert, though. He's got some family stuff that came up.
Yeah, I hope everything works out for him.
Oh, the new Question Black Label series.
Oh, well, yeah.
I talked about that.
Was not.
He
I mentioned it
did
earlier.
mention some bad questions. I have to say he did. Did he?
He might have said, I've
Before I
got a
was really
question.
interrupted by you packing over there like John Boy and Billy.
Hey, that's what we're striving to be. That's our heroes.
Oh, God, you need better heroes.
I could say you, but yeah, that'd been a joke.
I hear his brother Jeff, as long as he shaves his facial hair.
I'd like to know on the Black Label what happened to these 3 Jokers that we heard about. It's never come to be yet. Remember, there's supposed to have been a 3 Jokers Black Label book.
Now, I didn't know they were supposed to be in a book.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard any more about it.
Yeah, it was supposed to have been a 3-issue run, 3-issue
Oh, 3
Black
others.
Label series.
So I don't know anything about it.
Well, they
Yes,
claim,
I don't know.
that's the reason the Joker's changed so much, from time to time.
Yeah.
There's 3 different ones.
Yeah, because Batman found that out when he signed the Mobius here.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them. But, yeah, Black Label's really been putting out a lot of information. They've been doing more of the mainstream stuff with, like, Batman, Last Night on Earth, Superman Year 1, Wonder Woman's getting ready to have one. But
Tony said, I saw those somewhere. Anybody want to take a guess on what he's telling us? So,
Maybe talking about the
Jonathan's movies. Show them to me.
Do you think that'll be strictly a Vic storyline in the question, or do you think that they'll bring Renee Montoya into it and the Black Label?
Well, definitely. Hopefully, Vic Sage, was Vic Sage, is that his name? Hopefully, they'll. I don't know much about Renee Montoya, but I think the original question is the best. They might have her in there with him. I don't know. Because he's got the man on the question now, and she doesn't, as far as I know. So, well, that'd be an interesting book because you
I'm excited for it because I've never read any of the question series. What I know of the
He's talking about the art journey, Emma Frost.
You've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
I think it was Justice League Unlimited. I think that was the animated series that they had the question in as like a minor character that popped up a little bit, but it was intriguing enough character to where it made me kind of excited. I get a chance to actually read up on this character that's been around for all this time.
Well, we've also got a new Hellblazer series getting ready to come out for mature readers, and that should be pretty good.
Yeah.
John Constantine was not one of my favorite characters for years, but the more I've read with him in it, the better I like the character.
Yeah, and he's one of those characters that you got to take with a grain of salt. You can't.
Because he's a smart aleck.
Well, it's like looking in a mirror, or of course a mirror, anyways. But I'm like Mark when I first was introduced to him. I was like, this dude just. If you learn how to take him right and just take him where he is, he's a good character.
Well, I mean, they did a good job blending him into the Curse of Brimstone because he was in their annual, him in the Swamp Thing for. They did a good job with both those characters incorporating them into that storyline.
Well, shit, I guess I'll have to read it.
Mark, you brought up another book, Black Label too, though. Kind of sword and sorcery type.
Yeah, The Last God.
Yeah, that's totally different kind of different direction they're going.
Now, is that just a new character that they're coming out with and bringing it, or is it going to be?
It'll be a new storyline, but I believe that it's a pickup from one of the other sword and sorcery type things that they did back in the probably late 70s, I think.
Okay. Pretty much the story of this is it's like tying into two different timelines. It's like the destined heroes that are there to kill the god. Everything we're following them, but then the other part of the story is following their children, but their parents didn't actually kill the god, and it's the kids trying to stop this god and figure out what it was their parents exactly did to it. And just a little bit of artwork I saw from the covers and the inside, it is very, very beautiful.
Tony, from what I've gathered, it is. We'll ask these fellas. He's wanting to know if Black Label's taking over Vertigo, taking this place.
It's kind of moving in that direction.
Because I believe Vertigo's just getting ready to.
Vertigo's gone. They're going to do away with the Vertigo line, but I believe the Black Label, and that bigger prestige format will take over.
Well, I mean, they even said.
Well, it's hard to keep a name Vertigo. I mean, when it first came out, it was good. The Vertigo line.
Yeah, they had like Sandman, Swamp Thing.
But then they kind of pushed it aside, and they came out with it again, and I think they ruined it the second time around. Vertigo.
Well, the Sandman books were interesting. I wouldn't call them my favorite books, but they were interesting reads, and it bordered more on the line of the magical universe of DC. Well, now you've got Justice League Dark, which is doing that at this point. And Constantine has been in Justice League Dark the last few issues, so launching him with a new series, this would be the time to do it. He's been brought back into the public eye again.
Now, it's all the same characters still in the Justice League Dark.
Last time I read it,
they had a pretty decent lineup. They had Detective Chimp. I mean, Wonder Woman was even in there.
Yeah.
They gave her a different kind of origin. Santana. Constantine, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Man-Bat.
Yeah, they even used Man-Bat as a pretty good character.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the main roles when I was reading it still.
back in the day, but I wonder, because if they're bringing Hellblazer back, they've been slowly trying to bring back in the lore of like the Sandman universe. But I know another big character that mixed over with the Sandman was the Lucifer Morningstar character. I wonder if this might be a way to maybe try to pull him back.
Well, I mean, there's characters that we hadn't seen in a long time, like Death, like the one you're talking about. I mean, those were Vertigo characters that we hadn't seen in a while.
And 3 up there top beside the little person figure. Is that just the people that's watching? Yeah, we suck. We got 3 viewers. Me, Tony, and Colt. I'm going to red Matthew off. Sorry.
Okay, I'll talk about something. You batted around a little bit. You was talking about how this Batman the Last is going to end, and how can it just end the way it is? Because you're wondering, how's it going to stop?
I mean, I understand that it's going to go over to the Superman and Batman run, but they've got to kind of tie this up, to where it could lead over.
Yeah,
and even having that in mind, I don't see with one more issue, unless they just do something.
They're going to tie it goes right into it.
Wow.
They're going to keep using that.
That's kind of how
Because they can't go in to a Batman Superman run with the Batman that's laughing. Because that's what Bruce Wayne in this reality is turning into at that last.
So what's going to happen?
So,
I don't know.
and his last final, chance that he thought he was going to be able to take away, didn't work out the way he wanted it to.
No.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a good story.
I don't know. I've noticed that with some DC stuff, it's like they spend all this time building up this amazing story. Like I was saying, like Dark Knight's Metal, 6-issue run, everything was amazing. Finally kicked off at issue 5, and it's like, well, they have only one more issue left. How are they going to tie us all together? And it's just like a little sudden, quick, everything's fixed. Go on to the next story. I hope they don't do that with this, but then again, like we're saying, it's tying into Superman, Batman. I don't think it will.
Well, when is the next Last Night on Earth drop?
It's not even been solicited yet.
No.
Not yet.
So it's going to be one of them damned and
It's going to be 3 issues. It's
Doomsday.
going to be a long time. Yeah. Very, very, very good book. The first number 1.
I forgot about even having it. I was going through my comments the other night. Well, it's like I forgot even that was even out there. It's been so long.
We sold out of them here. We sold out of them so fast that I didn't even get a copy of it. If you hadn't have let me read your copy of it to do the review that night, I wouldn't have even known what was going on.
I'm glad I got my copy.
I know I can pick you one. Remember I said I found 2. I could pick you one.
Yeah, Tony was talking about he's supposed to be infecting. Talking about the Batman lives infecting. That's going to be one of the main villains. Is the Shazam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I believe they're calling him the Shazam that lasts. So yeah, it's hard to tell who all they'll have him infected before it's over with.
Somehow Batman is back being just regular Batman into Superman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Doing this last issue?
Yeah, I don't
I
understand.
don't know how something's going to happen.
Superman's going to have to come in and do something
Right, he
to
may
bring
show up.
Bruce Wayne back.
Well, that would make a lot of sense.
That may be what
Yeah.
happened.
That could be what caused the Batman Lives to focus on those.
Yeah.
The Superman coming in and saying, "Oh, that's going to piss Bruce off."
Yeah.
Yeah. Having Superman fly in and save the day. Oh Lord.
And of course, we're just speculating here.
Yeah. But yeah, Tony, the first main character that we think of is Shazam's going to be the first infected. I believe he's going to be on the cover of the first actual
Number 2, though.
number two. Yeah. So
Yeah, they got him on there.
It'd be really bad if he infected Martian Manhunter.
well, have you seen the artwork? He's already infected by something. Just say they ruined that character, drawing wise.
Justice League, he's still good, thankfully.
Yeah, he's good at that. It is, yeah. Just like bookies.
Justice League, though, you do kind of actually see how powerful Martian Manhunter is, because it does show him kind of being like up in the atmosphere and everything, and he's just listening to people's thoughts around the world, which means means he can tap into people's minds. So, yeah, he gets infected with, I guess, that laughing virus, I guess, if you want to call it. That's somebody you really don't want to try to go up against.
Well,
Tony thinks he saw somewhere that there's going to be at least 6 characters like Shazam infected.
Or maybe making his own kind of evil Justice League, possibly.
The League that laughs,
Yeah, I don't know.
the LTL, instead of the JLA. There you go, DC. You're free to use it. It's all yours. I just want the first Action Comics for my compensation,
Or at least some, original art from Batman Superman #1.
Yeah. Anything.
Something signed by Jim Lee.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
Sponsored by DC. I can handle not doing Marvel. DC sponsored this. I would sign the contract. I will dog Marvel the whole time. Putting I don't know.
Give us that
The Wolverine. Well, the Wolverine Blade.
That
It was awesome. Yeah. You got the Savage Avengers. You had the War of the Realms Punisher, the regular Punisher.
Yeah.
It was good. The Hulk. It's not the Hulk. It's been a big seller, but we didn't really do a review on it. The Captain America. After it took its little hiatus of crappiness, that last one we read, it was soon to be turned around. Yeah, Marvel's got them out there.
Yeah, Old Man Hawkeye.
All the old man stuff's good. I'm going to go back and read the old man Logan trade paperback.
Yeah.
Dead Man
Dead Man
Logan
Logan.
trade and get it. So to read #1. I'm liking it so much.
Yeah, I read that with you.
Old Man Hawkeye. Oh, you read
The
that?
Dead Man Logan.
Yeah, we read Old Man Hawkeye. And then,
Hawkeye. That was probably one of my top 2 books last year.
yeah,
I
It was
see
a Marvel
Old Man
book.
Daredevil. Just because they showed the character at the end of Old Man Hawkeye.
I don't think there will be another series. I think they will do another one. Just the way, because it was kind of like a movie. You had a few pages and you had that little last scene like you do.
I want to read Pre-Blindness Daredevil.
He's kind of 10 years, he's 10 years old. He's 10 years old,
He hangs out in alleys while his dad gets a crappy novel. It's not.
What goes down an alley and has holes in it?
Bruce Wayne's parents. Wow, I was right. I just took a wild guess with that one.
Most people would have said a bowling ball. But Bruce Wayne's parents, that's funny as crap.
y'all are horrible.
I'll save my Toad joke for later.
Please do.
Can't lose what little we got watching.
Well, we're down to 3 again. Tony, you want to hear a joke? It's as good as my Mickey Mouse and Pluto. Doggone it.
Cut off the feed.
Well, whether he wants to hear it or not, I'm going to ask John because I don't believe he's here. What kind of shoes does a frog wear during the summer?
Flippers.
Open-toed sandals.
That's actually better than a Pluto. I'll give him that. That's better than a Pluto.
Too late, Tony. I'm sorry. He said, no, I'm good. Doesn't hurt your joke. Stay away. Well, you got there anyways. Now, Professor had a pretty decent joke too by my standards. Anyways.
We're going to keep going with these things?
Yeah. Do your bicycle joke.
All right. Why can the bicycle not outrun the train? It's too tired.
Really? You gonna laugh on that one? That was corny as mine, and you gonna laugh at it?
They're all corny.
See the hate? Do you see the hate?
They're all corny. Every one of them are.
But anyways, well, your wife said you want to cut it off. We're done.
She's sitting out there watching us.
She's sitting there watching. Commenting earlier.
Are you watching us, Cole? Wave if you are.
It'll take 15 seconds.
1, 2. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna get in trouble.
We talked about this before about the new X-Men book, right? We've been talking about that a lot.
Well,
I just don't know what to expect yet out of those.
they're saying that it's going to change the entire complexion of the Marvel universe. universe. Yeah. Not just the X-Men books, but the entire complexion of the Marvel universe will be changed by these new X books.
Which means all new issue 1 comics for
Well,
everybody to
you're
collect.
probably right, because these are 2 miniseries.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that they're going to just like Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, another Wolverine solo book, and just keep going. There'll be another 10, 20 books out.
Tony said it's gone south now. We in the salad cracker. We done there.
That's his best joke he's said so far tonight.
I said, yo, mama. She's going to hate me.
She already does.
Yeah, she does. And it does. And I will throw this out there because it bugs me. You know, there are many things that bugs me in my life. I
Really?
could care less. Really. I mean, that's just
I
the way
don't
I am.
love you.
I love bugs. But when she pointed me out, and I was the only one that was nice to you that night, yeah, the gloves was off after that. Because all I said was, well, you know what I said. It was nothing bad.
You
No.
commanded you underneath your breath.
No,
You
you
liar.
did not.
I said you was David Glove child. You happy? Oh. I'm always running my mouth. Thank you. Don't you know this?
Yelling at somebody from a window.
Yeah,
When
they're
I see
like-
you a couple
They're
seconds
like,
later.
what in the world? He done lost his ever loving mind. I've never had it to begin with.
Marvel needs to really figure something out because they can't keep rebooting series over and over and over and over and over.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that they're doing that because they're losing in sales? That they're trying to...
Well,
Because like you said,
they are behind DC.
yeah, like you said,
No surprise.
that new Blade they coming out, I didn't even know about it, which I don't keep up with Marvel much, but it's just going to be more or less of a competitor to the Monster or DC Monsters or Gotham Monsters.
Gotham Monsters.
So, you know, I don't blame them, you know, because DC's wearing them out right now. Yeah, that's just the way it is.
But the thing of it is, Marvel has good characters. Put people at the helm of those characters that can write them, and I believe they may have done that with the new X books. Put people at the helm of these books that can write them, and leave them alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Donny Cates
Well-
has been phenomenal with Venom.
We had talked to Albert, and he made a good point that the bigger artists, both companies are wanting, well, every company, some of the independents do, that they only have such a limited time before they have to go to a new project. I can understand that. But why not take one of these young, hungry artists and writers, give them the book, say, here's your contract, or here's what it's going to be. You're going to get your baby. Every now and then we're going to have one of these big names come in, maybe do a cover art, help you with a storyline, do a storyline, whatever. But it's your run.
Yeah.
They're going to continue with your story.
And they could even go as far as to say, this is the direction we want you to take it in.
Yeah.
But you lead the train.
Yes.
You have free reign in that direction.
Yeah.
That way you would have the same person on there the whole time. You wouldn't have to worry about them jumping ship until they got up there, the name. And a lot of artists, well, I don't know about anymore, but used to, they didn't want to leave what they created, started, and
Like the
that was their
Stanley
baby.
Jack
Yeah.
Kirby combinations.
So,
For the longest time, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, you could not ask for a better team up. And now they're completely done with Batman. That doesn't necessarily mean they're done collaborating, but as far as Batman goes, we're not going to see any more Snyder or Capullo after.
and I'm not trying to dog these good artists
No.
by no means. I mean, they made it to the point, well, they put in the time and the work to get to the point where they can go from here to here to here to here.
But Marvel did something that was a really good idea, and why they don't use some of these artists, I don't know. But they had the Young Guns covers on all these books, the variants, and some of that art was phenomenal. Let some of these kids have it for a little while.
Yeah.
Put your bigger names on, like you say, put them on there. Let them do a cover art for them. Let them help them with the storyline. Let them co-write a 6 or 7 issue run inside the book.
Because not only are you getting still getting that main artist stuff in there. You're allowing them to be a teacher to the younger. You're letting them be able to learn, and and every artist that I've ever met, as far as the comic books, well, some of them that you hear about is just assholes. Forgive me, but they're wanting to help.
Yeah,
they want to help that younger generation to continue the legacy. So let them do that.
Yeah, like at our convention this year, I saw Albert Morales sat down with Rob Norris of Chaos 3 Creations and give him advice, not only right there, but he has stayed in contact with him since to help move him along. And, that's the kind of people that you want.
Well, yeah, and that impressed me. Albert's a good guy. But when he sat down with that young girl, she might have been still in elementary school. She might have been in middle school. I don't know. She was younger. But for him to give her just as much attention that he did, that man that was getting into it, and he even asked if any one of us, of course, he's not going to take a kid's number and, start doing that's just, nothing. I'm not saying he would be wrong doing it, just the way the world is, they would have, that ruined his career. But he even asked us if we got in contact with mom or anything to see how. He followed up with that.
But I will, when school starts back, I'll be back in contact with the young lady again.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to take some photos for Albert of her newer stuff and send it to him. And if it's okay with her mother, I'll be able to put them in contact with each other so that they can, he can continue to do that. But that's what we need more of. We don't need people saying, okay, this is my gig, leave it alone. We need more people willing to help the younger generation coming up, because not everybody's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Look at Lee and Kirby, probably the best creative team ever in comic books. Both of them have since passed away, and had they not have took the time to show somebody else what to do or lead them in the right direction, we wouldn't have what we have now.
Well, I want to just take time a minute. Art by Gallon, Gallon, I believe Gallon. Yeah. But 17-hour drive. I know it's a long way. We do have a convention every year. You're more welcome if you have art and stuff. You're more welcome to contact Green Dragon and sign up for a spot.
Always up
Correct. Want to know where the store is. So, Cole answering about the Green Dragon comics.
But, that's the thing. I talked to Albert quite a bit through Facebook. I talked to Kevin quite a bit through Facebook to kind of help with stuff that I'm.
And that's another one, Kevin. He showed a lot of interest in helping the younger people too.
Yeah, Kevin has been.
And if not only our artists, but Stephen Smoonies. If you're in there writing and stuff, he helped out. Everybody. So.
And the fellow who just sent us a message there, if you want books or want to display your art here, get in contact with us through Green Dragon Comics and Collectibles on Facebook. We will be more than happy if you want to send some art samples in to put them on the wall for people to see. We will put them on the air for people to see. And
yeah, because the reason we're doing this is to help, to share the love, But he does indie comic creator. He's an indie comic creator.
Hey, all right.
Send us one. We even do a review on it. Yeah. Andy there's our independent guy. So
be more than happy to help you out, help you spread the word.
He said, thanks, guys.
Get Chelsea on the show one of these days, actually get up and display her work and everything. Because I know we did the interview at the actual convention, but kind of like how we did with Rob, sitting him down and everything.
Well, why don't we go ahead and just start planning now, a couple months out from our convention. Try to get Rob in, and Chelsea, and maybe Brittany, some of the local artists too.
I would love to bring some of them back in to sit down with us here and talk. I know Black Hammer did a fantastic job of doing the interviews.
Yeah, but I'm jealous because, we got to miss it. We was, we used to help run the convention and stuff. It's just, I want to hear some too.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like being there in person and never watching on the thing.
But those were good interviews that he did. Ain't got no problems with that. But we'd like to we would like to get him back in, sit down with us. And
He said that he'd get in touch with you on Facebook.
Okay.
So, but we appreciate you watching it. Getting in touch with us. You know, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, we give each other a hard time. We cut up, carry on, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to the love of the art, love of the comics, and the brotherhood that we have.
Yeah, I mean, we are probably as different a bunch of people sitting at this table on a weekly basis as you can get, but we all share a love.
Yeah.
For the comics, the stories. It's our escape from reality for a little while.
Yeah, and everybody's got it. It might not be comic books.
Yeah.
You know, it could be just sitting down. You know, I like to hunt. That's another way that's me getting out my reality. People watch movies. Listen to music. It's just to me, it's just an awesome way to. I know it's a comic book, but you learn to read with the comic book.
I mean, Alex writes short stories, and from what I understand, he's getting ready to help a gentleman do a video game. Is that correct? So he's getting ready to design a video game for a fella who does independent movies. So
the sisters don't want to get on camera. That's what about the sisters. She said, "What about the sisters, Daniel?" The sisters wanted to show their pretty faces. We talked about them.
And I'm not trying to brag in the least, but my wife is beautiful. She would look a whole
She
lot better in
is.
front of this camera than I would. So.
Yes, she will. She look a whole lot better than he does. Besides Andy. That jaw structure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sexy.
still need to get that shattered in real on.
That makes you don't need it. Does it give you problems?
Yes.
Oh, well, then, yeah, you need to get fixed.
I'll break it
My-
for you.
Yeah.
My
And
jaw will
he'll break it,
out
and
and
I'll
pop back.
mine does that, and I don't have the retreat and draw.
Yeah, but mine's from my wisdom teeth. It hasn't set right, so trust me, when it pops and
When-
pops back in,
When the camera's off, I'll let you know what that's from. You remember that picture I posted for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's from.
Anyway,
Quit doing that. We get on the road, he stops us. He's our moral compass. That's sad.
and that's pretty bad when I'm their moral compass. But it is possibly true.
Yeah, he knows he's getting ready to get carried away when he's like, anyways.
If you have any requests for reviews, go ahead and hit us up on either the Facebook page or Daniel checks comments on everything pretty regular to make sure that we're not missing anything from you all, or any ideas for any more shows. If you want us to bring artists in, we'll be more than happy to do that. We'll try to get Steven here.
And if you're a local artist, go ahead and send us, as long as it ain't, bad. And I don't mean art-wise. I'm just saying, family, friendly.
Yeah.
That doesn't
bring-
scene on the Day of the Living Dead.
Yeah, send us some art. We can show it. If you think that far away, you might have you as a special guest.
Yeah.
And I do want to touch base on something. We've only had 2 thumbs down, on the, and I understand we're going to.
Were they-
No, it bugs me. It bugs me. Not for the fact that we got a thumbs down, because I could care less if you like me or not. But at least throw out why you done it. Because if it's something that we could fix, like a sound issue or a picture issue or Jonathan issue, we'll do it. If it's something that, well, I just don't like you rednecks, screw you.
That's fair enough. If
We
you're
got
going
2 Yankees here, though, so
Yeah.
right now it's evening out.
if you're going to throw a thumbs down, at least tell us why you're mad.
Yeah.
Throw a
If it
thumbs up
pertains
with
to
us.
something that we could fix.
Yeah.
If it's our attitude, you're out of luck.
We'll get Blaze and Timmy to do the shows then.
Yeah.
I don't know. Timmy's a lot more savage when you're not expecting
That
it.
art by Gal. said, "You're wearing a shirt that says tacos in 4 letters." He trusts you. Tony said he'd come and be some. Now, Tony, he said he'd come and be some eye candy. I told you to come down. You know, we'll throw you on as a special guest.
Tony, you show up anytime. We're kind of setting it in sort of in stone that we're going to do this on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
My work schedule could change at any point in time, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But the show will go on without me if it has to. So.
Well, no, I mean, you know, once in a while I can reschedule, but you know, schedules. It was hard to.
Could you imagine if it ended up being just a show with me and Daniel?
I wouldn't do it.
I'm sorry.
Everybody just leaves.
Well, now the Art by Gallon. He said the one good thing on YouTube, that word. I don't believe he said it loud enough, but that's it. It's close enough. A thumbs down does just as much to promote the video as a thumbs up. So there's that.
Yeah.
So, well, like I say, I could care less if you like us or not. We told you from the beginning we're not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's something that we can fix, you know, I'd like to know. You know,
if you enjoy watching the show, but there's a minor glitch of some kind, let us know. We'll try our best to fix it for you. We do have a new microphone, but we don't have the right connector for it yet. So sometime within the next couple of weeks, the sound
he said he
quality should
ordered it,
get better.
and I can't remember if he said it's going to be in this Tuesday or next Tuesday. So it depends on where you're working, I guess.
So we do have a new 360 microphone that we can set out there. You should be able to hear everybody's voice extremely well.
Except mine and I, you know, loud mouth. And you've been getting louder too. And I realized something. You know, we missed Black Hammer.
Yeah.
But you get to talk a little bit more since he's not here.
I don't really mind to sit in my little corner and be quiet and bring something up every once in a while. It doesn't bother me.
Maybe throw a pin at somebody.
Art by Gallon. I'll just say Gallon from now on, I guess. Art by Gallon is just long. But we do it. We just decide we're doing it every Saturday. So around 7, 8, no later than 9.
Yeah.
Depends on, you know, if who all's here and how long it takes us to read the books. We actually read the books the day of the show.
We do.
We don't want to be influenced. We don't even know what the books is going to be. We don't want to be influenced by anything we've seen. You know, we want to give you a straight up, honest review by our.
Right. And we don't look at any reviews online about these books before we read them either.
The only thing we actually look online, and it's usually the day of, is our categories that we want to talk about. And the only thing we didn't get from online today was the the Area 51.
Oh, I will say this. Black AF, that's just released issue 4.
I don't care. And tune in next week, you know, if you can, live, because we're going to have a special treat. If Black Hammer gets to be here, he's going to do a review on something that's close to him. I don't want to wait. No. Let's do
Black AF reading?
That would be awesome. I'm telling you, that would make a show right there, him doing it. Well, what got me is when he had to get into his black voice. Like, really, dude? But no, we missed the guys that's not here.
Yeah.
But we understand.
Dave has some family obligations he had to take care of. Black Hammer had to work. And we do miss them when they're not here.
Flip and take guy had to work.
Yeah.
We got a better tech guy.
Well, that's our good tech guy, and Blaze is our flip and take guy. So.
And not one person mentioned Aquaman this episode.
Until now.
Pretty good.
Yeah, until now.
Yeah.
Are we done?
He said you could have said
Oh, yeah.
once we're not streaming.
Like, well, thanks for the warning.
But anyway, I think it's probably time to wrap it up and head to the house.
Yeah. We actually getting out of here pretty early this time. So.
Fine, we're like,
Well, it ain't flipping 1 o'clock when I'm rolling into the house.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we appreciate you.
See you next week.